Ladies and gentlemen, your 2021 Highland Marching Scots. Ladies and gentlemen, Highland alma mater. Ladies and gentlemen, would you please stand as the colors are being presented tonight by the Highland High School Navy Junior ROTC. The young ladies in the color guard this evening, Cadets Kylie Stiltner, Brianna Woods, Jade Dis-Bennett, and Cadet Commander Lily Zeems. And now if you would remain standing and remove your caps as we honor America with the playing of our national anthem, the Star-Spangled Banner. and gentlemen, let's hear one more time for your Highland Marching Scots 2021 style. Ladies and gentlemen, contractual obligations forbid me from speaking for the next 11 minutes until the game starts. But I just want to commend the Ontario crowd for recognizing that the flag that is guarded on the field takes precedence over the flag on the pole. So a lot of visiting fans come in here and they're oblivious to that. So thank you very much. Appreciate that. Good work. Thank you. Give yourselves a hand. Thank you. Again, Highland has no excuse because they have the colors on every game. But good work. Thank you.
Good evening from the Fishburne Family Field at Covert Stadium on the campus of Highland High School in Sparta, Ohio. Welcome to Above the Light Productions and our YouTube channel for Week 2 of Ohio High School football. Got a couple of teams looking to bounce back from big losses in Week 1. The Highland Fighting Scots hosting the Ontario Warriors from Mansfield. Good evening once again. I'm Keith Kokinda. Glad you could join us here tonight. Both these teams took pretty tough beatings last week, although they were in quite contrast to one another. Ontario were put to the sword early and often by Lexington, a 45-0 win for the Minutemen. Lexington scoring 3 touchdowns in the first quarter and really never looked back after that. On the flip side, Highland were actually up 14-7 at one point on Bloom Carroll, a Division IV state finalist last season.
Nice job,
but
the
Bloom Carroll Bulldogs quality eventually won out from the middle of the second quarter on, at one point scoring 5 straight touchdowns against the Fighting Scots defense. On the other hand, these two teams very similar, both very young teams that these two squads are fielding, especially on the Ontario side. Ontario is definitely a team to look out for in the future, as are the Scots, but especially the Warriors, with a team that's going to grow in experience over these next couple of seasons. But of course, the immediate focus for tonight is for these teams is tonight's game, second non-league game for both of these sides. Tonight you will see, and we apologize in advance if you have some difficulty reading the numbers on the Highland jerseys. They're going to be wearing camouflage jerseys in honor of the Ohio National Guard. It is National Guard Night here at Highland High School, and of course that carries a little extra poignancy following the deaths of 13 American service members over in Kabul, Afghanistan, following a suicide bombing attack. One of them was a native of Ohio, Navy medic Max Soviak, out of Milan, just south of Sandusky in the northern tier of the state, graduate of Edison High School in 2017. Certainly all of us want to pass along our condolences, prayers, and good wishes to all of those who were affected by that attack. The cheerleaders have the banner up ready for the Fighting Scots to come out of their locker room and charge through. Flag Corps even decked out in Scottish-style kilts for tonight's performance. And get a look at the Ohio National Guard tunnel being set up for the players to run through tonight. Jeff Burton coming out right there. He'll in the white cap. Just saw him out of the picture. He'll be the referee for tonight's game. And a little bit of the James Bond theme from the band tonight. Very appropriate considering Sir Sean Connery, late Sir Sean Connery, the original James Bond, was a Scotsman.
Good morning, Mr. Bond.
And just a reminder, you can follow the Highland Athletics Department online on Twitter. HLSD Sports is their Twitter handle. Keep track of all the doings of all the teams in the athletics department at Highland High School. I'm Keith Kokinda. You can find me there on their follower list as well. In other football news for Highland, the 7th grade team beat Gallion Middle School 33-6, but the 8th grade team lost to Gallion by a score of 14-8. Volleyball team got their first win over the season. They beat Ontario, tonight's football opponent. Both the boys and girls golf teams lost yesterday. Unfortunately, Buckeye Valley put the boys soccer team to the sword with an 8-0 win earlier this week. If you check out HLSD Sports, go back a couple of days, big story on the Highland Marching Scots who are out there right now. Of course, we'll be entertaining at halftime. Girls varsity soccer team lost a few days ago to Buckeye Valley. 2-1 was that final. Actually, Highlands volleyball win, that was their second. They opened with a win over Big Walnut last weekend. You can see the Warriors coming out now on the far side. And now here come the Fighting Scots of Highland High School.
Ladies and gentlemen, your 2021 Highland Fighting Scots.
You get a good look at those camouflage jerseys that the Fighting Scots are wearing tonight. It says Ohio on the front above the number and National Guard on the back of the jersey with the Ohio flag on the right sleeve. Officials gathering in the center. You might notice we didn't really see it last week for some reason. All the turnovers, I'm a little surprised. But the new rule now is the referees have orange bean bags, bright neon orange, construction orange neon bags to throw when there is a fumble. As I said, there were a bunch of fumbles last week in the game. Well, didn't see any, don't recall seeing any of them, but they're plainly visible on their waistbands. Hopefully we won't see nearly as many of those tonight. I have a feeling both teams are going to play a much cleaner game than we saw last week. Last week, a lot of week one jitters, especially, and week one mistakes, especially from the young Scots team. The same could be said for Ontario. Yeah, Chris Miller, the Ontario coach, is still optimistic about the rest of this season in spite of the heavy defeat. The Scots will kick it off to start the game.
Final kickoff back deep to receive for Ontario. Number 42, Grayson again. Number 24, Chase Scott. Kick over the Scots. Number 7, Caleb the Deer Hunter.
Kick it off. Chase Studer, number 24, and 42, Grayson again. A couple of sophomores back to receive for the Warriors. It's going to drop, and that's a live ball picked up by Ginn. Grayson Ginn is a fumble. There's those orange bean bags. Commentator's curse strikes again, but the Warriors retain possession. And Grayson Bias, a lineman, was the one who recovered that. Bias is the starting left tackle, number 55. John Mounts, number 66 at left guard, a junior. Bias, a sophomore. Landon Soward's a freshman, 54 at center. Braylon Boone at right guard, a junior. 62, Jacob Timmer at right tackle, a 6'1", 230-pound junior as well. There are no seniors starting on offense for the Warriors, whose quarterback is the sophomore Peyton Zugan. And he'll give it off immediately to Chase Studer. He fumbled the ball.
Peyton Zugan with the handoff.
And the Scots have it on the turnover. They're going to take away on the first play of the game. It's Dane Nauman, who scored on that 92-yard block field goal return, who came up with the recovery. Well, that Scots defense, they got 3 takeaways on 3 fumble recoveries last week. Unfortunately, they had 5 turnovers on offense. So from the 35, the Scots will scrimmage for the first time. Kyle Anderson, 74 at left tackle. Turner Harmon, 54 at left guard. Both seniors, as is Caden Holtree, the center, number 60. Layden Hayes, 75, a sophomore. And Landon Pedigo, a junior, at right tackle on the right side. And we're going to have a false start call against the Scots. So the mistakes continue as we begin week 2. 3 plays in effect. A fumble on the kickoff return, a fumble on offense for Ontario, and now a false start penalty. Backs up the Scots to the 40 to make it 1st and 15. Cooper Merkling, the senior quarterback. Tough night last week. 4 for 12, 101 yards, a touchdown and an interception. But that touchdown was a beauty. The 74-yard pass to Gavin Hankins to put the Scots up 14-7. And it'll be Dane Nauman to carry it. Nauman gets away from a tackle, gains about 11 yards on that play at the 29. Nauman, 97 yards rushing on 19 carries last week, just over 5 yards a carry. Braylon Wilson, a cornerback, number 9, making the stop. 2 seniors starting on offense. There's only 3 seniors total on this Ontario team. Again, 2 of them start on defense. 12 yards on that play, so 2nd and 3. The wide receiver's screen is caught by Zach Schmidt, but for a loss. Loss of 2.
Zach Schmidt on reception.
Schmidt with his first reception of the season. But still a manageable third and
Bailey Kraft.
a short 5. I mean, a long 5, I should say. Have to get to just about the 25-yard line.
Ontario 31.
10:40 left in this first quarter. First possession for Highland after Ontario fumbled on their first snap. Eli Grandstaff in motion, and the penalty flag as it looked like there was an offside call. Dane Nauman on the carry has the first down, but we'll see about the flag. It looked like one of the Warriors' defensive linemen jumped early, but the play was allowed to continue as the ball was snapped. Now that's good. It looks like a holding call against, yes, it is holding against Highland. So what was a 3rd and 6 is now suddenly a 3rd and about 16.
From the Warrior 41.
Gavin DeBoard goes out wide to the right side. Jay Melchiori is out here on the left side. Merkling, Nauman trying to put on a block, and Merkling outside the tackle box throws it away. Well, Nauman tried to protect his pass, but couldn't get him turned around. And so the punting unit is on its way out.
4th and 16. Coach Stover called for the punt team.
So Eli Grandstaff will punt. He struggled last week, only 18 yards on his 3 punts. Trey King, number 6, and Chase Studer, 24, back to receive. They're standing back inside their 10. Grandstaff with a line drive, but that's going to go out around a 10-yard line. Excellent punt. Let's see where they spot it. At the 6, so only a 35-yard punt, but extremely effective as it puts Ontario back at their 6-yard line. So the Warriors scrimmage deep in their own territory. Trey King is out here on the near side. They'll give to Chase Studer instead. Tried to bounce to the outside, didn't get very far. John Jensen, the outside linebacker, number 8, making the play. 3 of the 4 wide receivers the Warriors have are juniors. 3, Colton Ramion, Trey King, who I mentioned, and Braxton Hall, number 2. The only junior, the only sophomore out there, Dylan Floyd, number 11. This team only had 63 total yards last week against Lexington, did Ontario. Play clock down to 7. Studer again, able to get outside, but Dane Nauman is there to bring him down at the 5-yard line. Loss of a yard. 3rd and 11 coming up for Ontario. And Ontario really struggled on the ground last week. The Minutemen held the Warriors just 6 yards rushing. Then again, when down 21-0 after first quarter, you're not going to be running the ball very much. The Warriors will go 4 wide out to the left side. First throw coming up for Peyton Zugan, maybe. Getting all kinds of pressure and got back to the original line of scrimmage, maybe gained a yard or 2 yards on that play. Great early pressure, Eli Grandstaff, who blocked that field goal last week, making the tackle. So 4th and 9, they give him a gain of 2 yards. So the punt team comes in, and it'll be a lineman, Jacob Timmer, 6'1", 230-pound junior, do the punting. He also plays defensive tackle, and right tackle on the offensive side. Scots should get excellent field position out of this. Cody Matthews and Jay Melchiori back to get this. And it's going to be Gavin Hankins. Gavin Hankins on the move. Gavin Hankins with some space up the sideline. Looking for a couple of blocks. Brings it back inside the 20-yard line. A 31-yard return. Hankins with his second big play in as many weeks. Of course, he caught that 74-yard touchdown pass from Cooper Merkling. And now sets officially 30 yards on the return. They mark him at the 20. So either way, a great starting spot for the Scots looking for the first score of the game. 7:31 left in this first quarter. I'm Keith Kokenda. Glad you could join us. A little bit ragged to start with, but the Scots showing some early signs of control of this game. Melchior will come out here to the near side. Owen Stillwell, a junior's lineup as a tight end on the right side, and they showed a lot of this double tight end set in the second half last week, running the ball with Dayton Nauman. This time, though, it's Cody Matthews. Matthews gains about 5. Jacob Timmer on that tackle for the Warriors. Colton Ramey on one of the wide receivers lines up as a defensive end. John Mounts is the other defensive tackle. Braylon Boone at the defensive end. 40 Drew Barnes, 57 Eli Stankovich, and 22 Chance Mullins are the linebackers. Mullins, one of only 2 senior starters on defense. The other 2 linebackers are juniors. It's going to be Matthews again. Matthews gains about 3. Bailey Graff, the strong safety, coming up to make that tackle. He's the other senior starting on defense for the Warriors. Craig Powers, the other safety, number 14, is only a sophomore. Actually, both Peg and Miller is out there at a cornerback spot now. So a 3rd and 3 with 6:20 to go. And it looks like another false start against the Scots. Indeed, that is what Jeff Burton is telling us. So 2 steps forward, 1 step back for the Highlanders. So that changes the 3rd and 3 to a 3rd and 8 with 6:20 remaining in the first quarter. Mason Duncan makes his first appearance on offense, and he'll go wide to the far side. Jay Melchiori out here to this side. Melchiori had a catch for 10 yards last week. Nice play-action fake. Melchiori came back for the ball, and Merkling threw a corner route. So the field goal team comes on. Caleb Hunter, who made his only field goal attempt, his first varsity field goal last week from 29 yards out. Zach Schmidt will hold. John Jensen will snap. This will be from 33 yards. Actually, a 34 yards, it looks like. So 34-yard field goal attempt. Good snap, good hold. Not a good kick. Had the distance, but he hooked it. So the Warriors with possession number 3. Give off to Drew Yetter, a junior running back, into the game for the first time. And no gain on that play. Ethan Taylor, 79, Chandler Stevens, 50, and Turner Harmon, 54, up front for the Fighting Scots. 3 wide here for the Warriors as Zugan looks to pass under some pressure, trying to get away. Caden Holtree giving chase and drags him down for the sack. First sack of the season for the Fighting Scots, and it goes to the senior Caden Holtree, who's in there at the defensive line spot, the nose tackle spot. Finished 17th in the shot put at the state track meet this past spring, or athletics meet, as those of you in Europe would call it. 3rd and 2. Dylan Floyd comes out here wide on the near side as part of the trips out here. Again, it's Zugan on the move. Eli Grandstaff there and brings it down. Back-to-back sacks for the Highlanders. So far, an excellent showing from this Fighting Scots defense. Punting setup will be Jay Melchiori, and Gavin Hankins once again back. Of course, Hankins had that 30-yard return last time. And again, Jacob Timmer to punt. No pressure as the Scots have to return short, while Melchiori will take the fair catch at the 43. So again, terrific field position as the Scots will start on the plus side of the field. Still awaiting our first score with 4 minutes and a second to go in this first quarter. Glad you could join us here on Above the Light Productions and our YouTube channel. For this season's presentation of Highland High School football, I'm Keith Kokinda. Again, follow the Fighting Scots, all the Fighting Scots sports teams on Twitter at HLSD Sports. Find me there as well on the follower list. So the Scots will scrimmage from the 42-yard line. All 3 possessions, the Scots have started in Warrior territory. Matthews to the outside. Gains about 5. And Bailey Graff, senior safety, coming up to make that stop. And they'll give him a gain of 7 on that play, so 2nd and 3. Good chance for Matt Downing, the offensive coordinator, to open up the playbook a little bit. Mason Duncan out wide to the right. Again, the offset eye with the double tight end. Zach Schmidt out here on the near side. Matthews again, close to first down yardage. Check that, Dane Nauman is in there now. And Braylon Boone making the tackle for Ontario. Looks like he's about a yard short, so give him a gain of 2, so 3rd and 1. And Duncan wide right. And it's going to be Gavin DeBoard out here on the left side, out of the eye. And Merkling will take it himself for the first down. Highland decent on 3rd downs last week, 4 of 11. And that is good for a first down. Merkling ran that goose play a couple times last week. Again, the power eye offset to the near side with the ball almost in the center of the field. They'll give to Grandstaff, the fullback, who finds an opening, gets across the 25 to the 23. Big first down play, 8 yards for Grandstaff. Again, Graff on the tackle. John Mounts there as well. It's a bad sign for your defense when the safeties are making tackles. Second and 2. Schmidt out here in the bottom left corner of your screen. From the split backs, give is to Nauman up the middle. Dane Nauman has the first down for the Scots. And John Mounts, the defensive tackle, got there first for Ontario. But a gain of 6. And we first down from the 17-yard line. In this power offense with the double tight end set working well. Duncan out wide right. Melchiori just out of your picture on the bottom. He's running a slant in. The throw is there, and it's a touchdown for the Fighting Scots. 17 yards, Merkling to Melchiori. Caleb Hunter on for the extra point. Made both of his attempts last week. Good hold there on an awkward snap. Zach Schmidt getting it down well. And there it is, 7-0 for Highland.
Ladies and gentlemen, over the break, you may be wondering, where are we got these snazzy camo uniforms? No, we did not buy them. Highland High School is a proud member of Operation Buckeye Guard. Citywide, grassroots group of Ohio High School football teams showing their force in Ohio Army National Guard.
Now, Northmore getting a weather delay tonight. They're playing South Central. They're scheduled to kick off in about 25 minutes now. We had some ugly weather pass through the center of Morrow County. Mount Gilead got hit with a heavy rainstorm. Not much here in Sparta, though. Doesn't affect this turf much. This turf, it's artificial, of course, but it's thatched sand-based. It's not. That's why you're not seeing those black rubber pellets flying, because there are none. The sand makes for a much truer bounce and better drainage as well. We'll keep you up to date as best we can with other scores from around Morrow County, courtesy of the Morrow County Sentinel Sports Department and their Twitter feed. Now Hunter to kick it away again. Again, the sophomores Studer and Ginn back to receive, and it'll be Studer from the 10. Studer finds a hole up the middle and is finally brought down at the 31, 21-yard return for the sophomore. Layden Hayes making the tackle. So the Highland defense has been very stout so far tonight. 2 minutes, 2 seconds to go in the first quarter, as the Warriors still continue to look for their first points of the 2021 season. Joe Weaver, the defensive coordinator for Highland, has to be very happy so far with what he's seeing. Trey King in the slot inside of Dylan Floyd out here on this side, as is Colton Ramion. And Studer out there as well. And they'll throw to Ramion with Studer out there trying to throw a block along with King. And Ramion gets to the 39-yard line. Brought down there by Gavin Hankins, who starts at cornerback. Gain of 8 on that play, so a good 2nd and 2 opportunity for the Warriors, their longest gain of the night so far.
Pickup, 2nd and 2, Warriors, Smith, 39.
Warriors go with a wingback setup on the left side of the line. Studer in the backfield. He'll get the call off that left side, drives across the 42 to 38. That should be good for a first down. And indeed it is.
Chandler Stevens on the stop with his stop. First down, Ontario from here. 42.
Ontario with their best possession of the night so far. Dylan Floyd out here by himself on the near side as they go 4 wide at the top of your screen. Blitz coming. Quick throw out there is complete to Trey King. King to the 46. Mason Duncan, the cornerback, making the tackle over there on that far side, but a gain of 4 on the pass. And that was one of the principles of Bill Walsh with the so-called and misnamed West Coast offense, that a 4-yard pass play is just as good as a 4-yard running play. It's 4 yards no matter what. Twins to either side, 2nd and 6. Studer's still alongside Zugan in the backfield. Studer will get the call, finds a space, gets into Highland territory, breaks a couple of tackles, finally brought down at the 30-yard line. Mason Duncan may have saved a touchdown there. 24 yards on that run, biggest play of the night for the Warriors, and the first time into Highland territory. Again, this team only rushed for 6 yards all game last week, so they're already well over that. And they're getting close to the 63 yards of total offense they had in the game against the Lexington Minutemen. There'll be Floyd out here, wide right. Trey King, number 6, inside of him. Studer also inside as the second slot receiver. And flags all over the place. Caden Holtrigate charging across and belted the center, landed Sowards, the freshman. We'll see if he was drawn off. No, he wasn't. So a free 5 yards for the Warriors on their best drive of the night as we approach the end of the first quarter. A little rush of blood to the head from the senior nose tackle and center, and that will do it for quarter number 1. For both teams, a lot better than last week. 7-0 Highland after 1. You're watching the Highland High School Fighting Scots on Above the Light Productions and our YouTube channel.
Good speed, chain gang. Good speed over there, fellas. You guys are looking good. But the Stillwell's over there. Look at that.
Cardington Pirates off to a good start. They lead Elgin 8-0. They scored a touchdown and got the 2-point convert as well. Again, Ontario were down 21-0 after the first quarter last week, so certainly Chris Miller has to be a lot happier, especially on this last possession on offense, because the Warrior offense did very little until this possession. So 1st and 5 from the 25 to start the second quarter after the offside call. Ontario sent 4 wide to the right. Studer, Ramion, King, and Floyd inside to out with Braxton Hall alone on the near side. That's where the throw goes. Hall has it to 20, and Hall gets to about the 13-yard line. Good for a first down. Aaron West playing cornerback made that tackle. Peyton Zugan only threw for 57 yards last week, but the sophomore quarterback gets a completion here for the first down. Now Studer moves back into the backfield. Ramion and King out on the right side. Studer will get the call and gets dropped in the backfield. Turner Harmon, the senior defensive tackle, burst in and blew that one up. So 2nd and 14 for the Warriors. They'll go trips to the right side. Again, Hall alone out here, the junior, matched up against Melchiori on the near side in the bottom left corner. And a little hard count there from Peyton Zugan. And yes, Peyton spells his first name the same way Peyton Manning does. I'm not sure if his parents planned for him to be a quarterback, but it worked out. And he was able to draw the Scots offside and get 5 free yards. So now it turns into 2nd and 9 for Ontario. 10:55 left in the first half. And again, Ramion, King, and Floyd inside to out on that far side. Studer alongside Zugan. Hall alone out here in the left bottom left corner of your computer screen. Down to 7 seconds left on the play clock, and a flag comes in from the secondary. And it's going to be a false start. So the Warriors get the free 5 yards and then give it back. So it'll be 2nd and 14 once again.
Tonight's 50-50 is sponsored by Winners Automotive, right down the road here, down 229. The
Clock back running, 10:35 left in the second quarter. Same formation. Peyton Zugan, a 5'6", 155 sophomore. He's looking to the right, has a man open. It's complete to the 14-yard line. It's Colton Ramion, the junior, at 6 feet 185. Gain of 7. They'll make it 3rd and 7 from the 14-yard line. 10 minutes remaining. Warriors looking for an equalizing score here early in the second quarter.
50-50, and this is the sign of the time. 50-50 will now accept all major credit cards. So there you go.
Yeah, and just had to let you know, Chandler Stevens, number 50, junior nose tackle, normally the starter. He's out with an injury. That's why we're seeing Caden Holtry playing at the nose spot. And another whistle, another flag flies in, and another false start against the Warriors. So much like we saw from Highland last week, Ontario gets a promising drive going and then shoots themselves in the foot with the penalties. That'll make it 3rd and 12 now for Ontario.
He's at the 3rd and 12 from Scott, 19.
From the 19, Dylan Floyd goes alone to the right side of the formation. Quad out here on the near side, including Studer, the inside slot man. Zugan is looking that way. Now he's going to throw for Floyd on the fade pattern, too far. Mason Duncan covering, but there was no way that ball was going to be caught with the throw being where it was. But better to throw it too far to the outside than to throw it too short and allow the cornerback to try to make the play on it. How many times you see that ball underthrown? So a field goal attempt coming up from 26 yards out. Cole Dill, a sophomore, to try this. Quentin Frankhouse is the holder. Good snap, good hold. And it's good. Oh, Ontario get their first points of 2021, a 26-yard field goal from Cole Dill to make it 7-3 with 9:13 to go in the first half. Again, this will be Highland's last year playing football in the Knox-Morrow Conference. They will be a full member of the Mid-Ohio Athletic Conference in 2022. They compete in the MOAC for all other sports. So Dill, after the field goal, will kick it away. Matthews and Melchiori back to receive. Melchiori on the near side, Matthews on the far side. Got under it a little bit. It'll be Matthews from the 16. Matthews looking for a block, gets one, tries to go outside, gets to the 35, made it 36, so a 20-yard return for Cody Matthews. This will be the first possession. The Scots will be starting on their own half of the field. Check that, make that the second. 9 minutes, 5 seconds left in the second quarter. Highlanders look to add to their 7-0 lead. Again, they'll go with the double tight end setup in the I formation. Dane Nauman is the tailback. Eli Grandstaff in front of him. And he'll lead the way for Nauman. Gets a good block. Nauman reads it well. Gets to the outside and gains about 8 yards. Braylon Wilson, a sophomore. Number 9 making the tackle. They give him 8, so Nauman racking up the rushing yardage here in the first half. DeBoard comes out wide with Mason Duncan inside of him, but it'll be Nauman again. Gets a good block from Grandstaff, gets to the outside, into Ontario territory, breaks a tackle, and he's gone! 57 yards, Dane Nauman, his second touchdown of the season. First rushing touchdown of the season for the Fighting Scots. Now Caleb Hunter will look to add the extra point and double the Scots lead. 8:20 to go in the first half. And he does it. 14-0. Highland over Ontario. 14-3, my mistake. As I mentioned, Nauman ran for 97 yards last week, and he's on target to beat that tonight.
Scott's coaching staff apparel tonight sponsored by Blue Green Sportswear out of Memphis, Tennessee. At the beginning, shout out. As always, the khaki shorts for real name is courtesy of Banana Republic.
No update yet on that Northmore South Central game. Again, they're in a weather delay up there where they were targeting a 7:45 kickoff. Still, that's about 10 minutes away. Caleb Hunter to send this one away. Great kick. And that'll have to be fielded. It's Chase Studer back at his 2-yard line. Studer finds some room. Chase Studer gets the outside. Chase Studer down the sideline. He's only got Hunter to beat, and Hunter puts him out of bounds. Chase Studer, a great return, but he'll get some stick when they study the video for being pushed out of bounds by the kicker.
Chase.
53 yards on the kickoff return.
So 10 minutes or 15 miles, whichever occurs first. Oil changes on boost.
So for the first time tonight, the Warriors will start on Highland's side of the field from the 45. Both Peg and Miller, number 12, out here on the near side, a freshman wide receiver. And timeout called by Ontario, the first of the half. It has to hurt Chris Miller to call that here. You got to get a big burst of momentum off the kickoff return. And again, a reminder, follow Highland High School's athletics department on Twitter at HLSD Sports. I'm Keith Kokinda. You can find me there on their follower list as well. Glad you could join us here tonight for week 2 of the Ohio High School football season. Scots will go on the road for the first time. Next week they'll be at River Valley, and then they'll host Mount Gilead Indians on September 10th. So a top-heavy home schedule, 3 of the first 4 games of the season here at Coverett Stadium. So the Warriors looking to take advantage of the great field position after the great kickoff return by Studer. Play action to Studer. Throws batted down at the line of scrimmage.
Second and 10, Ontario from the Scott 45.
Caden Murda with the play, batting that ball down. 6'3", 220-pound senior. And Miller comes out here by himself. Studer gets the call. No, check that. It's Drew Yetter. Drew Yetter gains about 9 yards. Only his second carry, but it's a good one. 7:45 to go in the first half. 14-3 is our score. Jay Melchiori, a 17-yard touchdown reception from Merkling. Cooper Merkling, and then Dane Nauman, a 57-yard touchdown run. Cole Dill with the 26-yard field goal for Ontario. Again, that was the first points of the season. Now a little wildcat with Chase Studer, and he gets 3 yards and a first down. Caden Holtree, the nose tackle there to make that stop. As Ethan Taylor returns to the defensive line. Kyle Anderson also in there as well at this time. Warriors go trips out here to the near side again. Studer out of that wildcat formation, and he's going to throw. He'll flip it out quickly here, but not held on to. Braylon Wilson, sophomore, couldn't hang on to it. .652 left in this first half. We'll go with a diamond setup on the right side with, again, both Peg and Miller, the freshman, out here along the near side. Yeller again on the run on the right side, close to a first down. Yetter, I should say, not Yeller. Drew Yetter, very close to the first down. No, not as close as I thought. About a yard and a half short at the 25. The third and a yard and a half coming up.
Late Hayes, number 75 on the stop of the Scots. 32 Ontario from the 25 of Highland.
And Layden Hayes now in there on the defensive line as well, making that tackle. .644 to play in the second quarter. Dylan Floyd out wide to the right. And Braylon Wilson out here to the left as a little unusual formation. They give to Chase Studer out of that pyramid, and he drives off the right side, gets the first down to the 15-yard, to the 20-yard line. Chase Studer having some success running the ball. Aaron West in on that tackle. So the clock restarts. 6.5 minutes to go until halftime. I'll mark it down to the 21-yard line, but either way, another good-looking drive coming up here for Ontario. Last one got stalled out by penalties and had to settle for the field goal. And again, that pyramid formation with Studer behind Zugan. Instead, they'll go to Yetter. Yetter cuts it back. Yetter gains 3, maybe 4. Getting Aaron West in on that tackle for the Highlanders. Well, they give him 2. So 2nd and 8 with 5:55 left till halftime. As Chris Miller trying to shake things up on offense with some new formations. Play clock down to 10. Braxton Hall out here alone on this side. Again, it's Chase Studer. Studer finds some space and gets to the 10-yard line. That should be good for a first down. Jay Melchiori from his cornerback spot making the tackle, but another first down for Ontario. Well, they mark him down at the 11, but either way, Highland stopped 7 of 13 third down attempts last week against Bloom Carroll. Trey King wide to the right. Braxton Hall out to the left. A whistle and looks like a timeout called here by Highland and head coach Ty Stover. A basketball-type timeout, it seems like, to try to slow down the momentum the Warriors' offense has had in the last 2 possessions. Warriors have improved a lot on offense here in this half. The only thing that's hurt them were their own mistakes on the last possession. A couple of penalties forced them to settle for a field goal attempt. And there's another goofy formation coming up here as Jacob Timmer, the right tackle, is out wide right along with the receivers Dylan Floyd and Trey King. And out here on the left is another lineman for Ontario, Grayson Bias. Zugan keeps it to the 5. But again, Chris Miller tries another different formation, a radically different formation. Gain of 6 for Zugan. .430 to go in the first half. Ontario looking to cut into this Highland lead. Play clock's at 15, so they have time. Is Drew Yetter in the backfield along with Peyton Zugan, the sophomore quarterback. King and Hall out here to the near side. Yetter with the run close to the first down, and he has it at the 1-yard line. So 1st and goal for the Warriors. Turner Harmon made that tackle, the senior defensive tackle. He comes off now in favor of Kyle Anderson. And again, 1st and goal, and they'll go 5 wide, 4 out here to the near side. Braxton Hall the widest. Colton Ramey on inside of him. They sneak it with Zugan, and Zugan is in for the touchdown for Ontario. Oh, the Warriors get their first major score of the 2021 season through their quarterback, Peyton Zugan. And Cole Dillo had the field goal earlier in this quarter. Now let's cut this lead down to 4 points. But he didn't. He missed it wide right. Well, we'll see if that comes back to haunt the Warriors, but either way, they get their first touchdown of 2021. It's now 14-9 in favor of Highland.
I'd like to finish up with our fall athletic sponsors. Mr. Tax, Edward Jones, Marcy and Greg Thomas family. Nico Hardwick. Hot Shot Secret. Will Cunningham. Joe Porter and Associates. Real Estate Pros. Salon 7. Ringer Fab and Machinery. Foreman Realtors. And the Land Insurance Group. Thanks everybody for your sponsorship. Without it, we couldn't do all that for a lot. So thank you very much.
River Valley, next week's opponent for Highland, will be hosting Madison Comprehensive tonight. Cole Dill to kick this one away. It's the M&M boys, Melchiori and Matthews, back to receive for the Highlanders. 3:47 to go. Highland with 2 timeouts remaining. This will be Melchiori from the 14-yard line. Matthews trying to get a block. And Melchiori out of bounds at the 29-yard line, so 15 yards on that return.
By number 40, that's Drew Barnes for the Warriors. First down, Scott. First down, Scott here, 33.
Cooper Merkling with the I formation. Double tight end set. 2 wide out here. The pitch to Dane Nauman, who's had a great night running the ball, including that 57-yard touchdown run. This time he only gets 1. Braylon Boone, number 52, making the tackle for Ontario.
8 yards, second and 9. Scott's from there, 34.
Zach Schmidt, number 16, coming in with the play. Down to 3:07 to go in this first half. Nauman again behind Grandstaff in that eye. Grandstaff will get the call. Pushes forward. Gains maybe 4 yards. Jacob Timmer held him up. And it looks like Ty Stover is content to go to the locker room with a 14-9 lead at the half.
On the bottom of that pile for the Warriors, that's number 62, Jacob Timmer.
Timmer, a junior, the biggest on the defensive line at 6'1", 230.
Little help from his friend.
I wonder if the Ontario stopped this third down play. They might call a timeout, try to get the ball back with a little more time. Again, the I formation. Merkling on the move. Cooper Merkling with the long throw, and he's got it with a great catch there made by Mason Duncan. But Pagan Miller, the freshman, couldn't have covered that a whole lot better than he did. Just an outstanding throw by Cooper Merkling and a great catch by Mason Duncan. First down for the Scots at the 32-yard line of Ontario.
Well played all right. The result of the play is a Highland Scott.
And again, Scots still have 2 timeouts left, 1:55 to go in the half. Again, Nauman behind Grandstaff in the eye, double tight end, the big power set. Nauman, great penetration. He gets away, though. And finally pushed out of bounds, gain of 5. That'll stop the clock. Braylon Boone got in there in a hurry. Got some help from Bailey Graff in that safety spot, but Nauman outran them to the edge and gained 4. And now timeout called by Highland. That's their second with 1:33 to go until halftime.
The Warrior boys didn't have air time in the first half. Looking good. Nice job, Highland Street session. Are you filming a laundry detergent commercial after this game? Nice work. Did you go through a splatter park and thought it was a car wash before you came to the game? Either way, you're looking good. Nice job. Thanks for coming.
So off the timeout, Highland looking to stretch their lead.
Second and 7, Scotch and the Warriors, 29.
They officially give Dane Nauman 3 on that carry, so 2nd and 7 again, the big setup. Schmidt to the outside with Duncan inside of him in the slot. Merkling under pressure, gets dropped, fumbled the ball.
Ball comes loose.
No, they're going to say incomplete pass. Chance Mullins, the senior outside linebacker, one of only 2 seniors starting on defense for the Warriors with the pressure.
Pressure applied by number 23, that's Chance Mullins.
Chris Miller took a chance with Chance Mullins on the blitz, and he came up trumps. Clock stops on the sack with the incomplete pass with 1:27 to go. Again, Highland with 1 timeout left. Sure, they like to save that one in case they need it down close to the goal line or to set up a field goal attempt if it comes to that. So Cooper Merkling really facing his first heavy pressure of the game. Melchiori out wide to the left as they'll go 4 wide. Nauman alongside of Merkling, Whistle, and Melchiori's got an equipment problem, so he'll have to come out. And Gavin DeBoard will take his spot out wide to the left. Mason Duncan out there in the slot gives him the play. Grandstaff inside of Schmidt out here on the right side, and Nauman alongside, and now a flag flies. And I'll call offside against Ontario, so I'll break for the Scots there. We'll turn this 3rd and 7 into a 3rd and 2. Cody Matthews returns to the lineup. I'll check that. That's Leighton Schaefer going in at one of those tight end spots, and now that'll mean Melchiori can come back in as well. So 3rd and 2 from the 24. In 1:27 left. Highland with 1 timeout. Big set out of the eye. Nauman. Merkling will take it himself. Pushes forward across the 20. Gets the first down. It's twice. Merkling has converted the 3rd down. The quarterback sneak. That'll stop the clock temporarily at 1:22. And Braylon Boone in the interior of that defensive line in on that tackle. DeBoard wide left. Duncan wide right. The give is to Nauman. Nauman to the 15, maybe the 14. Under a minute to go, 56 seconds to be exact. They give him 4. Jacob Timmer has made the tackle for the Warriors. And now a little more hurry up from the Scots on offense. Mason Duncan well wide out here, out of the eye. Grandstaff leading Nauman. Grandstaff got a block. Nauman got grabbed and pulled down at the line of scrimmage. And John Mounts, junior defensive tackle, making that play. And another flag down, so that stops the clock at 35 seconds left. Preliminary signal is against Highland. The flag is thrown on the far sideline. Chris Miller stepping out wanting a further explanation as to what happened. Jeff Burton will give us the signal here shortly. Nearly a false start against the Highlanders. Second and 11 from the 20, and the clock restarts down to 30 seconds. And Highland with 1 timeout remaining. Trips out here to the near side. Nauman alongside Merkling. Flag as somebody jumped for Ontario, and it will be offside, so they'll stop the clock and give Highland a free 5 yards. We'll make it 2nd and 6, 21 seconds to go. Mason Duncan going back to check with Cooper Merkling on this play. He's in the slot along with Grandstaff. DeBoard is out wide to the right. Merkling looking left, the throw on the slanted, incomplete. Mason Duncan, the intended target, he thought he got grabbed when he was getting close to the ball, but no flag. So 3rd and 6 with 17 seconds to go. Again, Highland still with that one timeout. It's a 32 yards field goal attempt from here. And Hunter made one from 29 last week. Melchior will go out wide to the left by himself. Looking that way, the throw, the fade into the corner, and Melchior can't bring it down. Heck of an effort there. Quentin Frankhouse, a sophomore, with the coverage, had it covered well. So 4th down, 11 seconds to go. And Ty Stover calls Highland's final timeout of the half. So maybe he's thinking of going for it here. He has a 14-9 lead. Again, follow all of Highland's sports teams through their athletics department Twitter account at HLSD Sports. You can find me there on their follower list as well. I'm Keith Kilkinda. Another warm and muggy night here in north central Ohio. Temperature was about 87 at kickoff. Down to 82, but feels like 86. Rain is in the forecast for tonight. It was supposed to have rolled in by now, but now it's looking like it's not going to come in until after the game is over. So that's a good sign. Indeed, this is going to be the field goal attempt. 32 yards out for Caleb Hunter, his second field goal attempt of the season. Good snap, good spot. Didn't make it, a little bit short and to the right. Looked like he might have scuffed that a little bit. Got way under it. Sort of like what happens with me with my pitching wedge sometimes. Elgin has come back with a touchdown and a 2-point convert to tie Cardington at 8-8. Late in the second quarter. So 5 wide for the Warriors on what should be the final play. Well, it was going to be until Caden Holtree jumped up and landed Sowards again before the snap, and that'll cost the Highlanders 5. We'll try again on what, unless there is another defensive penalty, be the last play of the first half. Again, 5 wide, 4 out here to this side. Studer, Ramion, King, and Hall, and it'll be Hall who gets it on the quick out. Hall brought down inbounds, and that will do it for the first half. Oh, it settled into a bit of a defensive battle after some scoring early, but we'll go to the break here with the Highland Scots leading the Ontario Warriors 14-9. Time to enjoy the bands of both Ontario and Highland High Schools. Be back after their performances with the second half. You're watching Highland High School football on Above the Live Productions and our YouTube channel.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the field, the Ontario Warrior Band, directed by Sean DeLong. We open our first show of the season with Mark Ronson and Bruno Mars' chart topper from 2014. Full of disco, pop, and funk elements, this tune is a driving beat that will make you want to move your feet. Here is Uptown Funk. Bringing it back to 1973, the Doobie Brothers take the stage. Originating from an ad-lib jam during their shows, this song started out with a variety of names. As they continue to play this song, become more and more popular. Here is Long Train Running. If you haven't had the urge to get up and dance yet, we hope our last number will do just the trick. We go back to 2014 with Meghan Trainor at the top of the charts in both the US and the UK. Filled with doo-wop, throwback, and pop elements, here is Lips Are Moving.
led by field commanders Hannah Connon and Megan Decker, and under the direction of Amy Arnett Thomasek and Heather Faulkner. Tonight's performance will begin with Red, based on the music of Randall Standridge. Two movements, Rendezvous and Euphoria, are based on classic Red Riding Hood fairy tale, but with a twist. Under soloist Jimmy Lyons on mellophone, Seth Ryder on alto sax, Jake Evener on trumpet, and Allie Colley as Little Red Riding Hood. Ow! Now for a traditional funk trombone feature written by John Higgins from the Ohio 110, Ain't Been Good. For Highland alum, this song needs no intro. You heard it once already, you're going to hear it again. Another Ohio 110 classic from the Doobie Brothers, Long Train Running! this season's competitions, and go Scots! Help support the band by visiting the visitor concession stand. They take Venmo.
Welcome back to the Fishburne Family Field at Coverett Stadium on the campus of Highland High School in Sparta, Ohio. I'm Keith Kokenda. Glad you could join us here for the upcoming second half between Highland and Ontario, with the Fighting Scots leading the Ontario Warriors 14-9. Well, Ty Stover said after last week he didn't put a whole lot of stock in what happened to Ontario last week, losing 45-0 to the Lexington Minutemen, knowing how good Lexington are this season and knowing what a young team has. And the message certainly got across to his Fighting Scots. They've been in a fight tonight so far, but held the upper hand, albeit helped a bit by some costly penalties on the part of Ontario's offense. Highland struck first in the first quarter. Jay Melchiori, his first touchdown catch of the season, 17 yards from Cooper Merkling to make it 7-0. Cole Dill countered with a field goal, a 26-yard field goal for Ontario to make it 7-3 after a quarter. Dane Nauman, a 57-yard touchdown run early in the second, made it 14-3. And then Peyton Zugan punch went in from a yard out after a successful productive drive from the Warriors to make it 14-9 at the half. Caleb Hunter did miss a 32-yard field goal in the second quarter as well. Other scores, Northmore leading South Central 8-7. South Central scored first, but early in the second quarter, Northmore got the touchdown and made the 2-point conversion. Again, they got a late start due to a weather delay. And then Elgin and Cardington tied at 8-8 at the half. Again, these two teams, Highland and Ontario, will be regular conference rivals next year when Highland becomes a full member of the Mid-Ohio Athletic Conference. They're playing their final year in football here in the Knox-Morrow Conference. But we'll see a lot more from this Warrior team over the next few years. And the next 2 years for this Warrior team should be good ones for Chris Miller and his troop. It's a very young team. Again, they only have 3 seniors in the whole squad, and no seniors start on defense. Well, Highland, which won the toss and deferred, will take the ball to start this second half. Again, the camouflage jerseys to salute the Ohio National Guard. And Cole Dillo had that field goal in the first quarter to kick it away for the Warriors, all in white. Again, the M&M boys, Jay Melchiori and Cody Matthews back deep for the Scots. And I apologize, those numbers are hard to see on the camouflage jerseys. And away we go in the second half. It's a good line drive. Kickoff drives Melchiori back to his 3. Melchiori able to make one man miss, gets driven out of bounds at the 26-yard line. Drew Yetter, a running back who had a couple of good runs in the first half, making the tackle. The Scots had a lot of success running the ball, especially with Dane Nauman, much as they did last week, although admittedly a lot of the yards Nauman got was in the second half when the score was and the outcome was pretty well in hand for Bloom Carroll. Mason Duncan, who had a big catch earlier, goes wide to the left. They'll go straight up the middle instead. Dane Nauman with the first carry of the second half, and it's a good one. Yeah, good for 9 yards on that play. John Mounts, number 66, junior defensive tackle, makes the tackle. So Matt Downing, the offensive coordinator, has a lot to choose from here. Zach Schmidt goes wide to the left. Duncan inside of him in the slot with the split backs. And there's Nauman with a first down to the 34-yard line. Now they'll give him the 35, actually. So gain of 5. The Dane train, as he's being called here.
Eli Stankovic on
Eli Stankovic, the middle linebacker, making the tackle. DeBoard goes out wide left with Duncan inside of him in the slot. And a big run for Dane Nauman. Nauman into the secondary. Nauman is going to take it the distance, 65 yards, his second touchdown of the night. Dane Nauman breaks another big run, and his second touchdown gives the Scots a 20-9 lead. Caleb Hunter for the extra point. Good snap, good hold, great kick. 21-9. And the Scots strike quickly on their first possession.
Score Highland 21, Ontario 9. They now the second time tonight donning the special hop shoulder pads, specially designed by the Coach Stover studio. Any player does something good on the field, they get to don these special ops shoulder pads. Jay Student number 24, Jason Ginn number 42. Boyd the kick. Number 7.
Caleb Hunter to kick this one away. Jay Studer and Grayson Ginn, 24 and 42, a pair of sophomores to return it. Bobbled, but it's Ginn to the 30 and brought down at the 33-yard line.
Number 42. Jason Ginn on the return.
So a decent field position for the Warriors on their first possession of the third quarter.
Stop for Highland. Nice special teams play. Good return on the play as well. Ontario will put it away first and 10. From at 33.
Again, it's Peyton Zugan, the sophomore who had a touchdown run in that first quarter, leading this very young Ontario Warriors offense without a senior as starter. So triangle to the right. Zugan will keep it on the option. Gains a yard, maybe 2. They'll give him a yard, so second and 9.
Caden Merlin stopping at 56 for Scots.
10:50 to go, 10:10 to go in this third quarter. And Dane Nauman with 2 touchdown runs from 57 and 65 yards. Now Ontario in their first possession of the third quarter. Trips to the right side. Zugan moving that way. Has some time. Throws up the sideline, incomplete. Dylan Floyd, number 11, his sophomore, was his intended target.
Cody Matthews on the coverage for the Scots.
Cody Matthews covering out there. 3rd and 9. Braxton Hall and Colton Ramey on 2 and 3 out here to the near side. Trey King in motion. All kinds of pressures. They set at the screen. They get it to Chase Studer. Has a blocker in front of him. Gets away for a first down near the 45-yard line. Landon Soward's the freshman center out there with the block to lead the way. First down for the Warriors. They get to their own 44-yard line. 9:35 left in the third quarter.
First and 10, Warriors at their 44.
Yeah, I'm not sure if this is planned or if they're just confused out there, but King and Ramion looking to get set up. Now they set up the diamond here on this side. Zugan, that's a busted play as somebody went the wrong direction and dropped for a loss back at the 40. Well, Zugan clearly wanted to run the read option, but Studer ran left. Aaron West gets what should be a sack, although it was clearly going to be a run-pass option. If it is a sack, that'll be the second of the night for the Scots. 8:40 to go. No, they're not going to call it a sack as the clock is still running. So Aaron West gets the tackle for loss to make it second down and 13. Big set with two tight ends. Studer gets the call, trying to bounce to the outside, finds a hole, and is stopped at the 47. Caden Murda, the senior at 6'3", 220, making that tackle. Gain of 7, so 3rd and 6 with 7:45 to go. Again, the triangle out here on the near side as they go with 5 wide. Quick throw to Trey King on the far sideline. Not going to get to the first down.
Trey King on the catch.
They do give him the midfield stripe, so... But again, still 4 yards short of the first down.
4th and 4 from midfield.
And then it'll be Jacob Timmer to punt. Again, Melchior and Matthews back.
Jacob Timmer, number 62, to punt.
Timmer, the lefty, gets it away to Matthews. He's going to let it go out of bounds.
Side kick. Out of bounds.
So the Fighting Scots will scrimmage from their 25-yard line. South Central South Central came back with a touchdown against Northmore, but they failed on the 2-point convert, and they lead Northmore 13-8 midway through the second quarter. Again, they got a late start for the penalty, for the weather delay, I should say.
Thank you very much. Like you said in the beginning, America.
And again, the applause for the Ohio National Guard being saluted tonight by the school with the camouflage jerseys. Those split backs they'll give to the up man, Dane Nauman. Quick hitter gains 2, maybe 3 yards. And Dane Nauman with 2 touchdown runs from 57 and 65 yards. Give him a gain of 4, so 2nd and 6.
Gain of 4, 2nd and 6, Scots. And they're 29.
Warriors showing a little blitz. Good run up the middle. Cody Matthews on the carry. Gained 3, might have gotten 4. Either way, it's not going to be a big third down coming up here for the Scots. Yes, they'll give him 3, so third. I'll give him 4, so 3rd and 2. And that's what coaches like to see on the running play. Get that 4 yards. 6 minutes left in the third quarter. Scott's looking to keep the running game going, run some time off this clock. Nauman again. Nauman gets a push. Looks like he got the first down. Got across the 45. Yes, first down at the 47-yard line. or 38-yard line, I should say. So 5 yards for Dane Nauman.
Great Scott Hawley just told me to say tackled by a host of Ontario Warriors. So I'm not going to take credit for that, but this was great.
Dane Nauman, again, he had 97 yards rushing last week against Bloom Carroll. Certainly over 100, going close to 150 tonight. Heck, the 2 touchdown runs alone, 121 yards total. Back to the I formation with Nauman at the tailback. He'll get the pitch. Gets a block to get to the outside. Tries a stiff arm to the 46-yard line. 8 yards on the play. Bailey Graff, the senior safety, making the tackle for Ontario. But another big first down play for the Highlanders. Again, Matt Downing can reach deep into the playbook if he wants. Four and a half minutes to go in this third quarter. Dane Nauman has been the star on offense with 2 touchdowns. Cooper Merkling with time. Looking out to the near side for Mason Duncan, out of his reach, out of bounds. Bodpegan Miller, freshman cornerback there in coverage. So on 3rd and 2, I think Dane Nauman's number is going to be called here. DeBoard out wide with Duncan inside of him in the slot. And here is the Dane train. Gets across the 50 into Warrior territory. Another first down. We're checking it out. We'll go to Cody Matthews that time. So Cody Matthews, gain of 6 to get the first down. Still 20 seconds left on the play clock, so Cooper Merkling not in a big hurry right now. Melchiori out wide to the left with Mason Duncan inside of him. Okay. Grandstaff in front of Matthews is going to get this carry. Matthews with some running room. Matthews to the 40. Gets tackled up high near the first down marker. And it will be a first down at the Warrior 38-yard line, so 10 yards on the run for Cody Matthews, the senior running back and cornerback, 5'8", 160 pounds. And the running game beat goes on for the Highlanders. 3:15 left in the third quarter. And Zach Schmidt out wide to the left. Dane Nauman back in. They'll give the Grandstaff the fullback there, who gains about 3. Jacob Timmer and John Mounts in the interior of the line making the tackle there. Check that. Timmer and Braylon Boone, I should say. And Jeff Burton has signaled for a timeout as Ty Stover comes over here to check with one of the officials on something. Duncan inside the board, out to the left side with the split backs behind Cooper Merkling. Dane Nauman to the 41, or to the 31. I'll get 32, so 3 yards on that run by Dane Nauman, the sophomore, and he led the team in rushing last year. Third and 4 for the Fighting Scots with 2 minutes to go in this third quarter. Matthews gets the first down to the 26-yard line. Cody Matthews getting some carries and making them productive. Timmer and Graff on that tackle. Eli Grandstaff coming back in. Minute 35 left in the third. Nauman back at the tailback. He'll get the call. Chase Studer got to him first at the line of scrimmage, but he still drives forward, gained 3, maybe 4 yards. Marked at the 23-yard line. So officially 3 yards gain. Zach Schmidt brings the play in from Ty Stover and Matt Downing. .50 seconds left in this third quarter. Highland pushing for another score that might seal it. And it's Dane Nauman, already has 2 of those scores. Gets to the 17-yard line. Drew Barnes, junior linebacker, making the tackle. And we've got a player down for Ontario. And clearly from the way he's pulling his leg, he has a cramp. And again, a hot, humid night like this. We didn't see too much of this last week. I can only remember 2 players going down for a cramp. And this is the first one tonight. So, yeah, definitely a way to doing that stretch with his bending his foot backwards. It's a cramp. Gain of 5 on the run by Dane Nauman to make it 3rd and 2 with 33 seconds left. Here's Jacob Timmer, the junior defensive tackle. He'll have to come off for at least 1 play, but he's walking pretty freely right now. Get some more liquids inside of him. Dane Nauman has been the offensive star. Has to be well over 150 yards rushing tonight. Again, 2 touchdown runs from 57 and 65 yards out alone put him over 120. That'll boost the yards per carry average. Melchiori will go wide to the left on the wide side of the field. There's Mason Duncan out here on the near side with the split backs. Cody Matthews gets dropped right at the line of scrimmage, maybe even a loss. Braylon Boone got in there first. Jacob Timmer helped him out. And that will do it for quarter number 3. And the Fighting Scots will face a 4th and a short 2 to open the 4th quarter with a 21-9 lead over Ontario. You're watching Highland High School football on Above the Light Productions and our YouTube channel. Northmore with another touchdown against South Central and a 2-point convert. Their second of the night, 16-13 now for the Golden Knights. Here, both bands at halftime there playing the Doobie Brothers Classic and Ohio University Marching 110 Standard Long Train Running as part of their halftime shows. As you probably heard earlier, these schools have dueling Big Ten fight songs, specifically the battle for Paul Bunyan's axe. Highland using Minnesota's and Ontario using On Wisconsin. But no sign of jump around. So 4th and 2 for Highland at the Ontario 18-yard line, and they're going for it. Their first 4th down attempt of the season. And with Dane Nauman in the backfield, why not? I'd probably do the same thing. And indeed, it will be Nauman. Gets stood up at the line of scrimmage, able to push forward. It'll be close. And based on that spot and where the yard marker is, I think he's short. And he is. So the Scots fail to convert on a 4th down. And Chris Miller has to be happier with this effort from his Warriors team, although still down 21-9. Pass out here on the near side is complete for about 3 yards to Trey King. And King took a pretty good shot there, and he's slow to get up. Cody Matthews, the cornerback, was there on the coverage after getting some pretty good runs on that last possession by Highland, which ended in the turnover on downs. And looks like another cramp here. .11:39 to go in regulation. And here comes one of those crazy formations again with a couple of linemen out there with the receivers to block. Braden Robinson, the sophomore, is out here on the near side in front of the wideouts. They'll go the other way, though. And is that a catch? Yes, it is, to the 25-yard line. It's Colton Ramion. So Peyton Zugan, the sophomore quarterback, with back-to-back completions. And Colton Ramion now still on his back at the 25-yard line with 11:09 to go in regulation. And another cramp. Third and 2 from the 25 for the Warriors, and it's going to be Drew Yetter. Drew Yetter, big run, gets the first down out near the 40-yard line. Gain of 14 as they'll give it to him at the 39, so a first down for the Warriors. And another cramp. All of a sudden, a little dehydration issue for the Warriors. Yeah, much better offensive performance from Ontario tonight after getting only 63 total yards last week against Lexington Minutemen. Admittedly, Lexington are very, very good this year. They, like Highland, were punching up in weight class a bit last week to open the season with a couple of very young teams, as I mentioned. There's only 12 seniors on these two squads, 9 for Highland, 3 for Ontario. So they'll have some fun battles over the next 2 years in the MOAC starting in 2022. And flags fly. Looks like a receiver wasn't set. Long throw down the sideline looking for Trey King, incomplete. And then a flag for a late hit. I tell you, Braxton Hall was the intended receiver over there. But he got pushed out of bounds, and that'll give the Warriors the automatic first down for the major foul. But we did have a flag at the snap as well, as one of the receivers was in motion, may have been going toward the line of scrimmage. And that's not legal on this side of the 49th parallel. There's the Canadian Football League season well underway. Up there you can do that. Here you can't. So these penalties may offset each other. We'll get the signals from Jeff Burton, our referee. Although that was after the illegal shift call against Ontario. And then actually the personal foul will be assessed because that was a dead ball foul. So both penalties will be applied. It amounts to a 10 yards gain, the automatic first down for Ontario at their 49-yard line with 10 and a half minutes to go in regulation. Dylan Floyd out here to the near side with Braxton Hall inside of him in the slot. Colton Ramey on Trey King on the far side. Zugan with time, throwing deep, underthrown, intercepted! No, incomplete. Throwing to Braxton Hall out there again. Mason Duncan could have had the pick, but couldn't bring it down. Again, it'll be Hall out wide with Dylan Floyd lining up as a tight end on the left side now. King and Ramion out here on the near side. Zugan with some pressure, able to escape it. Throws complete to Dylan Floyd. Gain of 4. Eli Grandstaff, who had that blocked field goal last week, making the tackle. 3rd and 6 coming up here from the Highland 47-yard line. The clock running at 9:55 to go. Surprised not seeing a little more urgency from Ontario here. Colton Ramion will go in the slot left with Braxton Hall outside of him up at the top of your computer screen. Zugan with Studer on front of him, getting chased from behind, has to get rid of it quickly, overthrows Ramion. Aaron West putting on some pressure from the backside, blitzing from that linebacker spot. So 4th and 6, and the Warriors will go for it. Highland, or no, they'll punt instead. The punting team is in. It's Jacob Timmer to kick it away with the left foot. Very high, but very short. Fair catch called for. It takes a very favorable Ontario roll inside the 10-yard line. The Timbers punt, 37 yards, but pins the Highlanders back at their own 10-yard line. And I have to think we'll see a lot of Dane Nauman and Cody Matthews carrying the ball here with 9:21 left in regulation, and the Scots comfortably ahead 21-9. It is Matthews at the tailback spot right now. And whoops, a little miscommunication there as Cooper Merkling gets dropped back at the 7. Can't quite see it, but the Highland band down there in that end zone got their phone lights on. 3 yards on the loss there. Gavin DeBoard checks in with the play. 2nd and 13, 8:55 left in the game. DeBoard will come out here to the near side. Mason Duncan wide to the right on the far side. Up in the top left corner of your screen. Give to the up man, Eli Grandstaff. Grabbed by his opposite number, Chance Mullins. Gain of 2 on the play, so 3rd and 11 coming up. 8:20 left in the game. Jay Melchiori comes in with the play from Ty Stover and Matt Downing. I haven't mentioned defensive coordinator Joe Weaver very often, but his defense has really stepped up tonight, with the exception of a couple of possessions in the second quarter. Merkling under heavy pressure and gets dropped. They got him at the 1 yard line. Drew Barnes, junior outside linebacker, with the sack. And they'll spot it at the 1.5. I'll give it the 2, actually, so. Ontario should get some excellent field position out of this, but as the Rolling Stones once sang, time is not on their side. A little nod to the late Charlie Watts, who passed away earlier this week. Grandstaff to kick it away. Only a second punt. His first one pinned the Warriors back at their own 10-yard line back in the first half. Not a great snap. Able to get rid of it, but it's very short. Trey King will let that drop, and it takes another Ontario bounce and finally downed at the 24-yard line. So only 22 yards on the punt. Check that, the 19-yard line. So 17 yards on the punt for Grandstaff. So a big opportunity for Ontario, but they only have 6 minutes, 54 seconds. They still need 2 touchdowns. Trips out to the left. Dylan Floyd, the lone wide out here on the near side. Zugan with time, looking for Floyd, and can't bring it in. Cody Matthews back there covering. Throw is a little short, but Floyd at the inside position. Would have been a terrific catch if he could have pulled it in. 6:48 left in regulation. Again, Floyd all alone out here on the near side. Riley Klashinsky is in at a wide out spot. He'll go wide to the top of the screen. They're looking that way. Throw over the middle, just a little bit too tall. Trey King was the intended target on that throw from Peyton Zugan. So 3rd and 10 with 6:43 left. Braylon Wilson is a wide out. He'll go out wide to the left along with Colton Ramion. And again, Riley Klashinsky. And Chase Studer will go into that inside slot as well. They throw out there. Studer trying to get a block. Braylon Wilson with the catch. Braylon Wilson looks like he has the first down inside the 10-yard line. And it is 1st and goal for the Warriors with 6:35 to go in regulation. Turner Harmon back in for Highland on that defensive line. First and goal from the 8-yard line. 11 yards on that pass play from Zugan to Wilson. And Wilson will come out here alone to the near side. Braxton Hall wide to the left. Zugan. Flag on the play as Studer drives forward to the 5. Inside the 5. Finally brought down around the 3, but we'll have to see what the flag is about. Penalty stops the clock at 6:27. It'll be a false procedure call against Ontario. It'll be first and goal from the 13. Fighting Scots go on the road to travel to River Valley next Friday before coming back home on the 10th. Zugan fumbles it. Still scrambling for it. And the Warriors maintain possession. And Mount Gilead Indians will come into Sparta on September 10th. Of course, we'll have that game for you here on Above the Light Productions and our YouTube channel. Yeah, 3 of the first 4 games here at home. But 3 of the last 4 will be on the road in conference play. So, second and goal from the 17. And once again, the Warriors, a promising drive, gets bogged down by mistakes. Chase Studer got maybe to the 15-yard line. Caden Murda and Kyle Anderson making the tackle. Cardington back in front, 14-8. And that game is early in the fourth quarter. Zugan, a quick throw over the middle. It's incomplete. Had Braylon Wilson, but he got hit just as he caught the ball. Eli Grandstaff broke that up. Cardington taking on the Elgin Comets tonight. And Cardington will be here to close out the home half of the schedule. Senior night on October 8th. Fourth and goal. A quick throw. That's going to be a pass. The option pass intercepted at the goal line. And a big run back all the way to the 23-yard line. Braxton Hall with the throw, and then a flag after the play. And those numbers are very, very hard to read. It's Mason Duncan with the interception. Might have been Jay Melchiori who came with that pick, not sure. Again, those numbers are very hard to read. The officials there discussing the flag here, which again came after the whistle. Jeff Burton will let us know what that is. Holding. I guess it came on the return a little bit late on the flag, so it goes against Highland, so I'll back them up, but they will keep the, but came after the. And now he signals it the other way, so.
Holding on the receiving team, which is Highland, and a personal foul on Ontario.
So there were two different fouls, the holding call against Highland on the return, and then after the personal foul after the play ended. So the Highlanders will scrimmage from their 21-yard line and look to run out the final 4:39 of this game. Cody Matthews, the tailback. And he'll get the toss. Has to make a cut inside. Maybe got back to the line of scrimmage, and a flag comes in at the end of the play. Flag came in right as the tackle was made. I have to wonder if this is maybe a face mask because the official on the far side, and it is, and it's the major foul too, so automatic first down for the Fighting Scots. Big break for them as they look to run out this clock. 4:25 remaining in regulation as the Scots go from their 36. Again, it's Cody Matthews at the tailback spot. He'll get the call once again. He gets hit right behind the line of scrimmage. John Mounts got there first. Matthews loses 2, but the clock continues to run, and that's what how the Highlanders want right now. And it's one of the advantages of having the play clocks here as we do at Coverett Stadium. A lot easier to judge how much time you have left in these situations. Play clock is down to 7. And I think looks like Ty Stover wants to call a timeout here, and he will with 3:27 to go in the game. Again, last report early in the fourth quarter, Cardington over Elgin 14-8. Northmore got a late touchdown, 2-point convert to go up over South Central 16-13 just before the half. Again, they got a late start due to a weather delay. But here, Dane Naumann's been the story. 2 big touchdown runs, 57 yards in the second quarter, 65 in the third quarter. And also have to give some props to the Scots defense. They've done pretty well with a couple of exceptions. And again, these two young teams, they'll both be MOAC rivals starting in the fall of 2022. So we should see a couple more years of good games between these two schools. Again, only 3 seniors for Ontario, 9 for Highland. So 2nd and 12 after the 2-yard loss by Cody Matthews, who's still in at the tailback spot. He'll get it again. Braylon Boone with the tackle there. Timeout call by Ontario. That's their first of the half with 3:20 to go in the game. Gain of 5 on that last play to make it 3rd and 7 from the 39 for Highland. Midway through the fourth, still 14-8, Cardington over Elgin. Well, Highland looking to put this game in the done and dusted category if they can convert on third down here. Although with 3:20 left, you'd have to think Ontario's chances would be pretty thin at this point. It's Dane Nauman, not surprisingly. Nauman not going to get the first down. Reaching for it, got to the 45, but that's still a yard short. And now decision time for Jay Stover, as Ontario calls their second timeout with 3:12 to go. I have to think Stover has to consider going for it with Dane Nauman, especially after he just broke that 6-yard run there. I remember the late, great Frank Gifford saying in that legendary 1958 NFL Championship game when the Giants needed to get a first down and didn't, Gifford gained 4 yards on a running play. And the defensive end on that side, Gino Marchetti for the Colts, suffered a broken leg, and Gifford was lobbying to try to go for it on fourth down. And along with the offensive coordinator, Vince Lombardi, saying we should run the same play to the same spot because they're going to have a replacement in. Jim Lee Howell, the coach, decided to kick the ball away instead, and Johnny Unitas then engineered the legendary drive to tie the score and send it to the first overtime game in NFL history. So Eli Grandstaff makes that point moot as he's in to punt. Chase Studer is back to receive it. And Ontario jumped the free 5 yards, and that ought to do it. That'll give the Scots the first down. And a mistake by Ontario will allow the Scots to pretty much salt this one away here. Well, the officials are discussing it right now. And again, in high school football, when a player jumps offside, the flag is automatically thrown, the play stopped. A player cannot get back as he can in college or the NFL. They're calling the false start against Highland. So the Warriors get a break. Will it be enough? So Grandstaff and his mates will be backed up 5 yards to the 40. Have to think Ontario will try for the block here. 3:12 to go, and down 21-9. And again, Chase Studer back inside his 30. Whistle and Ty Stover's come out to talk with the referee, Jeff Burton. Did he call timeout here? Didn't see a timeout signal. Now, Ontario has one timeout left, Highland with 2. I'm not sure if they gave one. Stover is discussing with Jeff Burton that last false start call. I think he's arguing his case that his player was induced by the Ontario players jumping off. In any event, the punt team is going back out there. And the last time Grandstaff punted was back in his own end zone, and Ontario was able to pressure it because of the shortened snap. Have to think they'll go after this one too. Trey King is now back in the return spot. Grandstaff able to get it away. He gets it over King's head. Terrific punt driving King back. And a loose ball looks like it's going to be covered up by Highland, and it is. And that will allow the Scots to salt this one away. I believe it was Mason Duncan who got to that one. Elgin came back with a score and a 2-point conversion, and they take the lead over Cardington 16-14. 5 minutes to go in regulation there. 3 minutes, 2 seconds left here. Ontario with only one timeout, and it was indeed Mason Duncan who recovered that fumble. Cooper Merkling back under center. He'll give it to Cody Matthews off the left side across the 20 to the 18. Drew Barnes making the tackle. And the Warriors don't call a timeout, and they'll just the clock run. I think they realize it's a lost cause at this point with 2:37 to go and down by 12 points. From the I formation, they'll go to Matthews once again. Grabbed right at the line of scrimmage, brought down by Ryder Hensley, a freshman defensive tackle. Held at the line of scrimmage, 2 minutes to go in regulation. Again, back in 2 weeks, the Mount Gilead Indians come to town for the first league match of the season in the final year in the Knox Memorial Conference for Highland in football. And next weekend, next Friday, Highland will make their first road trip of the season to going up to River Valley to take on the Vikings. Gavin Hankins, who caught that 74-yard touchdown pass from Cooper Merkling last week, is out wide to the right. Here's Dane Nauman with a big run down to the 10-yard line. That's a first down. A huge night for the sophomore running back. A pair of touchdowns from 57 and 65 yards out in the second and third quarters, respectively. 1:15 to go, so the Highlanders will even their record at 1-1. Ontario will drop to 0-2 on the season. There was rain forecast for this evening during the game, but it's held off. And now victory formation set up here for the Highlanders. Northmore scores on their first possession of the second half, and they lead South Central 23-13 now. That does it. A big improvement as the Highland Fighting Scots win over the Ontario Warriors by a score of 21-9. Dane Nauman leading the way. A big night running the ball. Probably over 175 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns. Cooper Merkling, a touchdown pass to Jay Melchiori to round out the scoring for the Fighting Scots. Again, Cole Dill, a 26-yard field goal for Ontario, and Peyton Zugan, a 1-yard run in the third quarter, all the scoring for Ontario, which is an improvement over last week for them. So, road trip next week to River Valley, and then we'll be back here 2 weeks from tonight as the Highland Fighting Scots host the Mount Gilead Indians. On behalf of our Above the Light Productions crew of Travis Reese and Skylar Kokinda, I'm Keith Kokinda. 21-9 Highland over Ontario. Good night from Sparta, Ohio.
And have a great weekend. And as always, please arrive home at the world's most popular destination safely, home. Have a good night, everybody.